Welcome back to the new Being Hypnosis channel, everyone. My name is Troy J. Bacon. My Syrian starseed name is Awaken is also Arel. That is from the lifetime that I'm most fond of and most connected with in the Sirius star system. In this lifetime, I'm a Department of Health licensed and certified hypnotherapist, hypnotist, quantum healer, ethereal engineer, as well as certified Reiki healer. About to finish my Reiki mastership, where I'll be able to start teaching Reiki very soon, certifying in it. Reiki is one of my passions, and so I'll be talking about a bit of what Reiki is in this video. I won't be saying so much about what it is not, but simply what it is in tradition and outside of tradition as well, and helping clarify some questions that you may have about what it is and what it can do. And at the end, I'll be sharing a bit more about a more expansive view of what I believe it is and can be at its core and beyond. If you like what you view in this video and find it helpful and informational, please do like and subscribe and share these videos on social media, as that helps this channel to grow. I appreciate your viewership. Let's get into it. Basically, you can understand it as universal life force energy. It's in the name. Rei translates to universal or something close to universal in Japanese, and ki is the Japanese word for ki, for energy, for life force. So it's a practice of utilizing universal life force energy. I am becoming very passionate about this practice as I am finishing my mastership. And yeah, you can tell that I'm very excited about it. So what Reiki is used for, and kind of always has been, is a number of things, really. It's commonly used in hospitals, and Reiki healers, Reiki masters also offer their services in their own clinics and offices, studios. A lot of people go to Reiki healers for pain relief, even for perhaps depression, mental and emotional issues, just trying to feel better overall. People also go to Reiki healers specifically for energy body healing and energy tune-ups. Also, Reiki helps accelerate the energy body. But so let me talk about first the physical benefits of Reiki as it relates to health, especially. Reiki is known to improve the function and power and strength of the immune system, which can be a number of factors. It kind of is an energy healing system that does bring physical results if that's wanted and needed. Um, the immune system strengthening can be part of the Reiki actually translating into physical vitality that strengthens the immune system directly through the immune system organs and glands and systems. However, it can also be simply from Reiki healing emotions. Reiki is a traditional energy healing modality that was first formalized in Japan by Makao Usui. He's known as Dr. Makao Usui, although he's not a doctor of medicine. He he was given the title doctor because he was more like a sensei of sorts, kind of like a master of this system and other systems. So what I've been taught from my Reiki master is that Makao Usui was asked about the system of energy healing, or the system of healing that Jesus Christ used to heal his disciples and his the people he touched and healed. And he was asked this by a student where at a university that he worked at. And then he didn't really know the answer, but it was such a good question that he resigned from the university and embarked on a journey um, around Asia and possibly other areas, but certainly into China and Tibet and Japan, so that he could study the ancient Buddhist texts and other texts and um, do spiritual and religious investigations to see if he can find the answer to such a question of perhaps what Jesus actually was able to do and how he was able to do it with healing people, or even without the Jesus question, maybe it was just simply a question of how monks were able to heal people and heal themselves and change their body temperature dramatically at will and fly and levitate, even teleport. And so it's also been said that Reiki is a Japanese kind of translation, verbal translation of the Tibetan system of Raku-Kei, which is a Tibetan system of connecting with and channeling energy from the universe, from perhaps from space, from other dimensions, the life force energy from the world around us. And that's really what Reiki is. So it's a fairly formalized system that does not require any belief of religions of any sort. It's not a religious system. I want to make that clear. Some people have been confused or assumed that it may be religious in some way. The only belief that you need to benefit from Reiki is that you can heal or improve from what you're dealing with. Um, Now there are many physical ailments that Reiki can heal and put into remission or even reverse and eliminate. Even some perhaps earlier stages of cancer, I believe, and from what I've heard, certainly post-surgical pain can be relieved and reversed, or the healing can be sped up from Reiki treatments. Emotions and ancestral and present life emotional trauma can be cleared and improved and healed just by Reiki treatments, clearing out the energy body too, um, and connecting with the soul, energy of the soul too, integrating with that. So the only belief you need is that you can heal. My Reiki master said that she once had a client who was, I believe, in her 90s, a very old woman who was so frail and diseased. I think she had like stage 4 cancer, went through chemotherapy, and um, was just so far from looking vital that she looked like a possibly a shriveled mummy or almost a corpse just sitting in a wheelchair. And my Reiki master at first was wondering what the point is of them coming to her for Reiki healing, because even Reiki probably is not able to bring someone back to youthful vitality from that state. But she went through with the the Reiki healings as requested and agreed upon. And there wasn't like dramatic physical healing. This old lady was near the end of her life inevitably. But what Reiki did for her and what the family reported too, after her passing, especially, is that the woman had absolutely no fear of death, absolutely no fear of dying, of what was to come next. And that was because of the deep subconscious and spiritual energy healing that she received, basically that prepared her spirit and mind for the transition of death, essentially. That's how powerful Reiki can be. And yes, it can be a powerful system of physical healing, but very powerful system of spiritual healing. After I started Reiki, practicing Reiki, especially on myself, after I started learning it and became certified in Reiki 1, my psychic abilities picked up. I started um, receiving precognitive and messages from the earth. There are multiple events of me, multiple events in which I received strong feelings and I think messages from the spirit of the earth, or maybe it's also my psychic ability, just tuning into it too, what was going to happen. But within a few days, I would sense that there was going to be an earthquake or a disaster. There's a dream I had of the tallest skyscraper in the city of Seattle um, being hit by an airplane similar to 9/11. And then I asked my friends as well as myself, we sent protective energy to that building in the city. So far, it's all safe. And so, yeah, Reiki can help shift energies. And I started channeling too after I started learning and practicing Reiki. Um, my first channeling was light language symbols that I'll do more of. Certainly, there's a lot more to learn and a lot more to channel, but it was from an ET group, a specific group with elongated heads and very slender. Um, but they showed me what their planet is like too, and I wrote down a lot of these symbols and their meanings and tonal pronunciations. I'll probably make a book from it later as they requested. But more recently, my channeling took the course of literally channeling a seraphim guide of mine, who's been sharing messages and teachings and wisdom from a seraphim perspective to bring more light into the collective of humanity right now. Very early into the history or the founding of Reiki, Makao Usui, as I've been told, and some of his early disciples or students um, were dabbling in and practicing and testing what Makao learned from the ancient Tibetan texts. And they dabbled in many other things too, Japanese types of shamanism and spiritual healing practices, Japanese Shintoism and Buddhism. And so it actually was not just one thing from the start. This is a formalized system now, but a tradition, but it really is an integration, kind of a formalized integration of many techniques. It involves writing the Reiki symbols I was taught in the air, visualizing them and speaking them out loud too, speaking the names of the symbols as kind of like the activation of the Reiki. So traditionally, Reiki is done in a healing space where there's a massage table, usually with a blanket or a sheet on it, where the client or receiver of the Reiki lays down, usually face up first. Some people flip the client over and then do the process um, face down on their back, but that's not actually required, I was taught. So basically, it's a process of the Reiki master um, laying their open palms and hands, starting with the top of the head and around the head, um, channeling Reiki into each position of the body, um, down to the toes, clearing out the whole energy body, emotions, subconscious. The subconscious is where a lot of emotions, beliefs, ancestral trauma, also personal and present life trauma, and our habits too reside. Reiki can get into all of that. It's a healing light energy essentially. I was taught, and what I understand is that it's from not just the world around us, but kind of like heavenly dimensions, other dimensions that most humans don't always have access to. But Reiki masters learn how to access that and channel it. I channel a lot of angelic energy in my Reiki sessions. The angels are always with me, and they've always been with me in each healing. And they like to, I feel them actually kind of channeling literally through my body and through my hands, feeling their energy and sending that into the person. In more modern times, though, many Reiki masters still do traditional in-person sessions. However, what I do a lot, and what I actually the way I was trained in, is distance healing too, and that's usually by Zoom or a um, video call session where the Reiki is sent long distance, and it just works just as well, sometimes better actually. And that's the thing is Reiki doesn't even require the person to be touching or in close contact with the Reiki master. Reiki is a quantum life force energy that is ethereal and can be sent through the ethers, um, just the same way that what is it? Radio radio type energy can be sent from radios and also cell phones and computers, um, to help people connect and communicate. Reiki is the same way, and it literally shows up with the person in real time. It doesn't even have a delay at all. It's real, just in person in that way, kind of real time of, it's hard to describe this, but essentially it's a quantum universal energy that doesn't require physical proximity and contact. So that's what's beautiful about Reiki and the modern world, is that Reiki masters such as myself can send Reiki to clients um, from the comfort of their own home. Perhaps they're on the couch or bed. I find that laying down on a bed is most comfortable for me because it allows more thorough muscle relaxation. But I've also received and sent some healings myself simply from the couch, especially received them and they're okay. They work. That's just how psychic healing and Reiki healing works. One thing about Reiki is that it's not only good for humans, but also good for animals, plants too, really. But it's another perhaps subset or popular practice of Reiki is animal Reiki, in which some Reiki masters and healers usually they go like in person with the animal, but just as in with humans, you don't have to. It can be also by distance, connecting with their spirit, and I've done that too. And giving Reiki to the animal. The Reiki master always psychically or intuitively tunes in to the animal, sees them, uh, telepathically communicates with what the issue is, um, what they're feeling, what their complaint is. Maybe a human isn't treating them well, or maybe they're um, maybe they're feeling pain, and so um, they get as much information from the animal as possible. And I've heard that cats in particular are a little more iffy about Reiki at first, but they do warm up to it. Dogs are much more receptive from the beginning to it, and perhaps other mammals, but Reiki does work on all animals, as animals are living things. Reiki is a really quite lovely state that benefits humans and animals, improves our health, keeps us young and fresh and vital. My vitality has really been amplified and restored just from Reiki. If you're feeling heavy, bogged down, just sort of stuck in life, that you feel like giving up, or kind of trampled down, very isolated, stuck in your home, depressed, very unhopeful, or anything similar, any negative outlooks, beliefs, Reiki can help shift that. Really part of that subconscious, and I would also do a little bit of hypnosis with that, but Reiki can definitely shift that energy out of your life. You will change your perspective after Reiki sessions, especially regarding that. You may then start to become hopeful, see the world and people optimistically, seeing opportunities in your life more, receiving offers and recognition in your life more, receiving more money. Liquid luck is something that will pick up and will increase and become just more easy when you start doing Reiki or receive Reiki healing. I really advocate to learn it yourself. I think that's the best way. Starting with Reiki 1 with a Reiki master myself or another Reiki master, then go through, I would recommend Reiki level 2 and 3 and a mastership, to then go on to teach it if you wish. But definitely Reiki helps not just heal the energy body and emotions and body, but it kind of heals your whole life. Um, After I started doing Reiki, my guides taught me actually how to set up a protection grid around my home. And before then, it was actually quite common that I would come home from work or even going out for a walk or something, and little objects, usually light objects, even some heavier objects too, had been moved around in my apartment. There are a lot of ghosts around my apartment complex. This wasn't anything nefarious or damaging or troubling, but they were just moving things, I think, to get our attention, to improve things in our lives. However, it was after I set up the protection grid and then consistently practiced setting up and casting my energy protection on myself in my home, that nothing was moved anymore. All the objects just stayed where they are. Ghosts, I think, can still get in and out depending on what parameters and energy I set within the grid myself. But they at least aren't moving things anymore. So that helps. And yeah, Reiki can be used for more than just healing. It can really be used for some types of, I would call them practical magic, in that the things you learn to do literally shift your reality. I've learned to flow and also manifest money and synchronicities and opportunities more, simply just from like an energy gathering and then snapping trick that I do. It'd be a little bit to describe each of these tricks that I come up with, but yeah, you really start to learn magic. And part of Reiki too, especially if you learn it and become certified in it, is that you'll start learning the universal laws, which I think is an essential part of not only Reiki, but should be for any healer and wellness practitioner. In my opinion, you'll learn the universal laws, which are actually 22 of them that I'm learning, partly from my Seraphim guide. And many people talk about the law of attraction, which is really the law of resonance too, law of action, law of cause and effect, law of one, law of non-interference. That goes on and on. That, as I said, there's 22 that I'm learning. But these universal laws are really a way of learning kind of what's in your soul, the energy of your soul, your heart, your mind and emotions, your attitudes, the way you connect with the world around you, the stories you tell yourself, the way you speak to yourself in the world, and also journaling and specific things are a part of it. But you learn to just manifest better, flow better, manifest and attract more money to you. And that's one of the beautiful parts of it, more than just staying well and vital, is really mastering, becoming the master of your life like you never have before. So really, that's what Reiki is, in my opinion. Laying on of hands and healing, energy purification, physical healing, and emotional, mental, spiritual, belief, habit, um, all kinds of other healing is lovely. And that comes with it, with channeling and moving your life force energy. But really, when you get down to it, Reiki is all of that and more, in the way that you start to connect with the world in a, I would say, much more refined way, kind of alchemized way. And you start to, like I said, become the master of your life, see things in a greater light, and everything just flows better, especially when you start to act in your truth, authenticity, and passion. And so that's what Reiki is. It's kind of like the life force within us, the life force that sustains and warms and um, regulates and heals your body, the life force that that brings money to you, that perhaps brings a serendipity, like meeting the perfect person at just the right time, or someone offering you food or resources or something else right after you think of it and feel that you need it. It's that connection that you feel perhaps with someone who passed away and was talked about on the news, and we feel sympathy, empathy for them. I have even intuitively received information and some telepathically too from deceased people about what happened. I won't be sharing that here, but that's just something that comes with Reiki, with the real practice and learning and certification, becoming certified in Reiki. You really do develop more of your energy body, strengthen it, refine it, get in touch with and enhance and kind of become more of a master of your ESP and psychic senses, intuition, empathy, clairvoyance, maybe even astral projection, clearer dreaming. But, and all that is cool, but that's not the real core of it. I think the core of Reiki and any energy healing system is really becoming truly who you are in your heart, from your heart, from your soul, learning to become not in a selfish way, but in a balanced and authentic way, mostly singular focused on your mission, your purpose, what you truly want for yourself, and what you become clear about how you can give that, share that gift with the world too. But it definitely brings you back in touch with all of who you are, and I would say restores you back to a state of being a genuine, authentic human again after you have let after you've healed, let go of, and transcended all of your hurts, all of your worries, your traumas, fears, anything that was holding you back before, and you live a miraculous life. So that is a bit about what Reiki is and what I've found it to be. I hope that clarifies your questions and perhaps raises more questions too. I will be sharing many more videos, much more knowledge and perspective and clarity on what Reiki is, how Reiki can help us, and more about Reiki as well as hypnosis too in the near future. So I hope that you benefit from this video, and I wish you amazing miracles and peace in your life. Bye for now.